Everyone assumed the COMAC C919 would have to wait years before becoming a truly international airliner. After all, Europe's aviation regulator still hasn't even cleared this jet to fly there. So how is the C919 already preparing to fly its first scheduled international route? The answer isn't as obvious as you might think, because the destination they chose isn't just another city on the map. It could reveal an entirely different strategy for taking the C919 beyond China's borders. So where is the C919 going first? Why did COMAC choose that destination over dozens of larger international markets? And what does that decision tell us about China's long-term aviation strategy? Let's dive in and see what's really going on. Air China confirmed it. Starting August 12th, the C919 flies daily. Beijing to Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia's capital. Flight CA723 leaves Beijing at 3 p.m., lands at 5:15 local time at Chinggis Khan International Airport, a brand new terminal that only opened in 2021. CA724 comes back at 6:30 that evening, landing in Beijing at 8:35. Tickets on sale right now. This service will operate every single day as a normal scheduled flight. This is not a one-time charter flight or a demonstration tour. It is a genuine, everyday commercial international route, the very first one in the history of the C919 program. And this isn't some small regional plane. 192 seats, the exact size class as Boeing's 737 and Airbus's A320. The two jets that make Boeing and Airbus most of their money on the routes airlines fly the most. Here's what nobody was actually tracking. Europe's aviation regulator says full certification for this jet could take until 2028, maybe 2031. 5 years, long enough for a baby born today to start elementary school before Brussels says yes. So why did they choose Ulaanbaatar as the first international destination? At first glance, Ulaanbaatar might seem like an unexpected choice, but from COMAC's perspective, it is probably one of the safest places to begin international operations. The route is relatively short, just over 1,100 kilometers, making it an ideal mission for the C919. It allows Air China to operate the aircraft internationally without pushing its range or exposing it to complex long-haul logistics. Geography also matters. Mongolia borders China, meaning engineering teams, spare parts, and technical support remain close if anything unexpected occurs. For an aircraft making its international debut, that proximity significantly reduces operational risk. The market itself is another advantage. This isn't a symbolic route invented just to plant a flag. Beijing and Ulaanbaatar already have a real, existing travel market between the two capitals, built on business links, tourism, and diplomatic exchanges. Air China chose a route with a practical commercial foundation, not one built purely for headlines. But the significance extends far beyond carrying passengers. This flight allows COMAC to validate every aspect of operating the C919 outside mainland China, from coordinating with a foreign air traffic control system to handling overseas ground services, customs procedures, maintenance coordination, and day-to-day airline operations. The program gains valuable experience that simply cannot be replicated through domestic flights. In many ways, Ulaanbaatar serves as a low-risk proving ground before COMAC attempts more ambitious international routes. More importantly, the destination reveals something about COMAC's broader expansion strategy. Rather than waiting years for certification from the FAA or EASA, the company can gradually expand into countries that recognize Chinese approvals through bilateral aviation agreements. Mongolia fits that model perfectly, allowing the C919 to establish an international presence without relying on Western regulators. In fact, the C919 already has confirmed orders, not just talks, from airlines in Brunei and Cambodia. Separately, the company has also held early discussions with a Kazakh carrier, while a Brazilian cargo operator has expressed interest in future cooperation. Different markets, different stages, but the same approach. Start with countries willing to work directly with China rather than waiting for Western regulatory approval. If that strategy continues, Southeast Asia and Central Asia could become the next major phase of the C919's international expansion. By entering one market at a time, COMAC can steadily build operational experience, customer confidence, and a growing overseas network, even before securing certification in Europe or the United States. This choice was clearly not made by accident. It is a carefully calculated move in a bigger strategy. What do you think about this decision? Do you believe the next destinations will be in Southeast Asia? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Now let's take a step back and look at the journey of the C919 so far so we can understand why this moment is important. The aircraft entered commercial service in May 2023 with China Eastern Airlines. In the beginning, all flights were purely domestic routes within mainland China. The plane was still new, and the airlines needed time to train pilots, build maintenance experience, and gather real-world data. Then, in 2025, the C919 took its first steps outside mainland China by starting regular services to Hong Kong. China Eastern Airlines launched the Shanghai to Hong Kong route in January 2025, and Air China followed with the Beijing to Hong Kong route later that year. These were important milestones, but they were still considered regional routes rather than fully international ones. Like flying from the US mainland to Puerto Rico, you clear a checkpoint, you never actually leave the country. Now, in the middle of 2026, the program has reached another level. COMAC has delivered 35 aircraft to Chinese airlines since deliveries began in December 2022. Though the pace has actually slowed this year, with only 3 new jets handed over in the first quarter. These planes have already completed more than 42,000 commercial flights and carried over 4 million passengers. That's every single person in a city the size of Los Angeles, boarding once. Performance-wise, it's not just surviving, it's working. China Eastern's fleet alone has logged over 28,000 flight hours and kept a load factor near 80%. That means 4 out of every 5 seats fly full. Boeing and Airbus would take that number on any route, any day. On the production side, things are accelerating. In 2025, they delivered around 15 aircraft, but this year, the target is 28 to 33 planes. That's nearly double the previous year's output. While Boeing continues to face production challenges and Airbus is working hard to increase output, the C919 is making steady, quiet progress. It is not shouting about its achievements every day, but the numbers and the milestones keep adding up. By the way, if you want the numbers behind every move China and Russia make in this industry before anyone else covers it, that's this channel. Subscribe now. Here's the big takeaway from all those numbers. This program didn't take some sudden leap. It built toward this route one delivery, one domestic flight at a time, and still ended up moving faster than most forecasts expected. Right now, Boeing and Airbus are dealing with production issues and long delays. Meanwhile, the C919 is stepping in to fill some of the gaps, especially in markets that need aircraft sooner rather than later. China's overall approach is becoming clearer. They are focusing heavily on emerging markets and offering attractive financing packages through Chinese state banks. Of course, we should be realistic. The C919 still faces significant challenges. It does not yet have certification from the FAA or EASA, which limits where it can fly. How its real-world fuel efficiency stacks up against the latest Airbus A320neo and Boeing 737 MAX over the long run is something only time and more flight data will tell. Building a reliable global maintenance and spare parts network will also take many more years. Despite these hurdles, the momentum is undeniable. The program is moving forward steadily, and that progress cannot be ignored. What this means for the future. For Boeing and Airbus, this is a wake-up call. They can no longer view the C919 as just a domestic Chinese project. It is becoming a real competitor in the narrow-body segment, at least in Asia and other developing regions. For countries in Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, this brings both opportunities and challenges. On one hand, airlines might get access to newer aircraft with faster delivery times and possibly better financing. On the other hand, it increases competition in an already busy market. Looking ahead, it's not hard to imagine C919s eventually reaching cities like Hanoi, Phnom Penh, or Jakarta. Though for now, only Indonesia's Transnusa has publicly confirmed it's evaluating the aircraft. Nothing else is locked in yet. This first international route to Ulaanbaatar is only the beginning of a longer journey. To wrap it up, this is a program that keeps outpacing its own timeline, even while missing its own production targets along the way. That combination, real progress and real limitations side by side, is exactly why Boeing and Airbus can't dismiss it as a domestic curiosity anymore. The road ahead is still long, and many obstacles remain, but the C919 is making real progress one step at a time. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you believe the C919 will become a true global competitor to Boeing and Airbus within the next 5 to 10 years? Let me know your honest opinion in the comment section. Whether you agree or disagree, I read every comment and enjoy the discussion. And if you're sitting there wondering how a plane sold as China's answer to Boeing still can't fly without a Western-built engine inside it, that's not a small detail, and I already broke down the whole story. It's right there on screen, and it's next. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you in that one.